this is Aulbrie Sass for Pambazuka News. Today I'm at the African Union headquarters here in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. I had the pleasure of speaking with Mrs. Musabayana, the deputy head of the Communication and Information Department here. We spoke about social media and how she plans to use it, along with her department, to impact the everyday African in the context of the African Union's vision. In your opinion, what are the key achievements of the Communications Department as it relates to the vision of the African Union as a whole?
I'm really happy to say that the Directorate of Information and Communication has really come a long way in the last 6 or 7 years. For a start, one of the major achievements was that the Commission found it necessary to upgrade the Directorate. Before this, it was a division, and now we have a director who is in charge of information and communication. So that was a recognition of the importance of communication to the Commission. I'm also happy to say that things have gone further than that, because now communication has been accepted in the upcoming strategic plan to be a strategic priority of the Commission. The Commission has 5 pillars. And communication is now forming one of those pillars. And then it has 8 priority areas, and communication and branding is one of those 8 priority areas. So we really think that this is a big achievement, and it shows that not only has the level of communication improved, but that it is visible, and that people are now starting to accept that communication is actually a very strategic point opportunity, rather than just being an add-on. You know, before people used to call communication officers at the end of the planning process, and then they would come in and say, where is the photographer? We need somebody to write a press release. But it's no longer like that. It's much more strategic, because it actually adds value to the bottom line of the organization. So these are 2 of the most important achievements that I would say. But I would also point to the fact that the number and scope of communication tools that we are now using has increased dramatically. Whereas before we used to do press releases and perhaps the media advisories, now we are very big on the use of the website, because as you know, the website is the first point of contact between the outside world and the organization. But we have also adopted social media and are using it quite aggressively. So far, the Commission is now using YouTube, we're using Facebook, we're using Flickr, and this is really helping us to reach out to our traditional audiences, but also to the new audience, I would say, the younger people who now, you know, use social media more often. So these are just some of the few achievements that I would really want to point out, which distinguish communication as it was before and what it is now within the Commission.
I see that you've recently implemented a new social media strategy. How have you used that strategy to reach the everyday African?
Not only are we using social media and so on, but we are more aggressively getting in touch with media, identifying which media are critical in Africa, but also we are developing media. So we would like the African media to come to a level where development issues are discussed at par with issues of peace and security, for example. So we have many development programs aimed at improving the African audiences. We are also reaching out to the ordinary people by inviting them to come to the Commission. We have a very good public relations strategy where people come into the Commission and they're able to see this. We have a service where we facilitate interviews for journalists with our leadership here at the Commission. And in this way, we believe that the more access that media have to information coming out of the African Union, the more it will go out to the ordinary people. I want also to add that on our website, we are now trying to make it more interactive, so that people, we're not just talking to the people, but they also have the opportunity to talk to us. One final thing that I would like to add is that during the summits, which I think is one of the biggest events on the continent in any given year, and we have 2 of them in 1 year. During the summits, we invite journalists, and we receive anywhere between 400 and 600 journalists coming to cover the summit. And each one of those has access directly from the horse's mouth, from the African Union, which they are free to report. And we also offer them press conferences on a daily basis with the leadership. Not just the African Union leadership, but also the leaders of our partners in development. They get the chance to talk to journalists, to expound on their views, to explain what is being done at a continental level, at a regional level, and at an international level, to try and make sure that the African Union achieves its goals of development, of peace, and of integration in the next 50 years.